to League of Europe, round 6 at Canada, here in D2. And as you can hear, I'm QVR Verstappen here. Unfortunately, QVR Decker couldn't make it on time, so I'm starting the stream. He might be able to join on later in this session. Anyways, as we see, it's a wet quali. And as we go on board with Gary, we see that's actually full wet. So this can get very interesting. Let's see, we've got Edok moving up from D3 as a new driver. I think there's another new driver, which is Salcook. He's still in the pits, but he'll get out at some point as well. Anyways, Jekyll seems to be the first one testing the conditions and going on a lap. So let's see what he does. And so of course we saw in D1 we had a wet race, and it just gets very feisty. I don't know if the race is dry or wet. We'll have to see about that. But for now, these guys gonna have to get these conditions going and just try and get as far up the grid. It's very interesting track, Canada. A lot of chicanes, and usually as such in 2011 you can see it was a very interesting race and can cause for a bit of chaos. So let's see how these drivers go with it. Anyway, Jacob coming up to the famous chicane of the Wall of Champions, 4th gear. Go around, don't touch the wall on the exit. He does that nicely, and he's the first one to set the lap with a 1:21.382, 3:1. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna send things out real quick. So it's Gary leading the way with 90 points. There's a few drivers send the laps to Arla Tidan, 8 stands behind. Anyways, this is Arla Tidan in P2 in the standings as well, 67, and Cookie in 65. The top 3 it's looking like it's relatively clear as white will away. Again, setting a fast time in the wet. As we saw in China, he I think he took pole there and was very quick in the wet there as well. So it seems like he likes those conditions quite a bit. Let's see, it's Mark going up into P3. We know about him as well. He loves these conditions. And Cookie Games must have been the same lap. 6 tenths faster than everyone else, even White Hawaii. And gets the Red Bull into P1. Good lap from the Red Bull driver indeed. And with that lap he'll be looking to get back at Dan and Gary after, well, the last 2 races didn't go too well for him. Dylan going up into P2. To Russell driver. He's showed some good praise throughout the season already. And we've got a comment list, the winner of last race, on our new gamer tag, IRO Aiden. So let's see if that brings him any luck, as Nico has retired from the session. I'm not too sure if he has a quali ban or not. I might be mistaken with that, excuse me if I am. As V5 gets himself up at P7. Let's see. It's just all looking very just people testing out the conditions, looking to get grips with this. I'm not too sure if it's actually wet for the race. People might be just going for a wet setup, get themselves right up the grid, and be good in the race as well. Cookie Games is, I think, gonna start another lap. Meanwhile, I see McCrew crossing the line, getting himself up into P10. Adri into P15. Salcook, the new guy. Let's see what he can do. Come down the back straight onto the last chicane. If I can get a real fast track map up, I can name the corners actually. Excuse me for that. Let's see, he comes across the line. He is invalidated though in the last chicane, I reckon. But he says a 122 for the flat size. Could be right in the middle of this grid. Let's see. I think a lot of guys just trying out these conditions, getting as much laps in as possible. Let's see. It's Rick on an invalidated lap. Doesn't look like improving. Adri the same. Matty G might be improving. Let's see. Comes around the final chicane. And gets himself up into P5. And that's both the Toroses and the Alphas looking quite good here. Good pace. In P3, well, just getting the position from P2 to P5 with those two teams. Let's see. So it still looks very close. Cookie 2 tenths ahead of Dylan, who's again just marginally ahead of Super Gamer as well. Let's see. Can we catch anyone close to the finish line to end their laps? I think it must be Jekyll, the one who's close to finish his lap. So let's go with him. He's coming down into the hairpin. Really difficult corner already in the dry. Now get it in the wet. Drivers will not be loving these conditions, as he looks like he's struggling a lot with this traction out of turn 11 and 12 as well, which basically are just flat but are kind of as corners for some reason. Come down to 13 and 14. Let's see what can they do. Takes it cautiously. Don't want to invalidate your lap. Let's see. Right alongside the wall of champions. Gets himself up into P4. The McLaren driver does. Meanwhile, maybe further back down the grid. RT Dan looks quite quick. I don't know if he's made a mistake there. Didn't really see that. Let's see, come down to hairpin still. So 2.5 tenths almost as an improvement. Looking quite fast at the moment. So it's coming down into the chicane. Let's see what the Mercedes driver can do. Can he get himself up into the order? Let's see. Very cautiously on the inside there. And gets himself up into... Well, he doesn't even improve. I think his final chicane wasn't too great. And he kind of struggled with that. Can we catch anyone close to the finish line? I think OK Games is. Let's go on board with him. No, he's going into the pits. Matty G, possibly. Looking to improve from that P6. Can he get himself up into... And he's not even improving. Sorry for the anticlimax there. Let's see. Callum has put in the wall of champions. Well, that shows promising things for him, I guess. It's positive he can take that from that wall. Rick, see, no, he's on the outlap. And I think the next one would be Edok. Promoted from D3 to D2, he shows very promising pace, but had struggles to finish it actually up in the race. And he goes into the pits. V5 coming down into the chicane. See where he can get himself up into from P10. Let's see. And does not improve at the moment. So Mark, no, loves his conditions. It doesn't look like he's improving. Gary's just gone into the pits and it's a bit of a quiet period. Harry not in an improvement either. Is that Aiden? So I can't really scroll down there. The yellows in sector 3. There's a Matty G letting some guys by on their laps, including Aiden. Let's see where he can get himself up into. Comes down to the final chicane, but he backs off, it looks like. So might be just going onto a lap. I think the next one is Rick. No, also going into the pits. Like guys, struggling to maybe get grips with these conditions. I don't know if it's going to be dry or wet in the race, as I mentioned before. So this, it's going to be really a surprise, I reckon. Maybe even changeable conditions could throw in the hands of some people. It's Mark again, I think, on the lap. Looks like he is. Going on the back straights. Not reaching as much high speed as you would usually, but he does go into the pits again. So I think there's just a lot of guys in the pits at the moment. Just trying to get themselves prepared for the last run. 5 minutes remaining. Let's see. Let's go on board with lap with Cookie. Let's see if he can improve, shall we? Coming down into turn 1. Get himself back down to third. Get locks up quite a bit, and I think he might be abandoning that lap. I'm not too sure. Gets himself down in first gear. Yeah, he's down in an ERS. I'm looking for someone who is on the lap, maybe. Aiden. I think he's he might be just starting a lap. Excuse me, I got a yawn there for a bit. And that's nothing to do with this driving, because it's quite enjoyable to see these drivers who are usually so easily around, getting around these tracks, and they struggle a bit with conditions. And also, you like to see that find around, as you see quite well with Aiden here. So he gets an enormous tank slapper on the exit of turn 4. Let's see anyone else. Cookie Game's still on that out lap, I think. I don't see anyone else really on the lap at the moment. The only one we could aim for is Aiden, I reckon. So let's see, come down into the hairpin of turn 10. No, he's 2.5 seconds down, so he's not on a lap indeed. Let's see. A crew might be? Let's see. And Callum as well, actually. So the two Williams guys, quite close on tracks. Let's Callum slows down there. And McCrew is not in a high ERS mode either. I was just getting ready for the final laps, I reckon. Let's see. New driver South Cookie. Looks like he's on lap. Come down to final chicane. You see a nice helicopter view basically. And first lap he's done is at 1:23.9, bit off the pace. Looking to improve later on. So let's go with Dylan for a bit, so shall we? Come down to turn 2, very difficult corner. Open up the traction as soon as you're there. Looks like he's struggling quite a bit. Coming down to turn 3, down in third gear. Sliding a bit through the chicane. Into 4th, up into 5th, 6th. And maybe even 7th. No, he keeps in 6th. And coming down into turn 6, into 2nd gear. Trying to open up the throttle as soon as he can. Let's see. Actually, I'm wondering, is anyone willing to take the inters, or is it just going to be full wet? It's looking like it's just going to be full wet, as Dylan loses a lot of traction on the exit of turn 9. Let's see. Canan to hairpin, he's 3/10 down. I think he might be abandoning this lap. Yes, he is. Anyways, anyone close to the end of their laps? The crew, I think, coming down to the last chicane, but it's not on a fast lap. Is this Cookie Games, or is it no, his teammate, Sal Cookie, and gets himself up into P13? That's more like it from, at the moment, the second rebel driver in on track basically, and then the quality standings. So there's a bit of a mess going down in turn 6 and 7, I see. There's people trying to get the best run possible on their laps. Anyways, I see an alpha close. No, just starting the laps. Why, maybe? As Adri has retired from the session. There's 1 minute to go. This will be people's final runs. Let's see. Why? Coming down to the last chicane. I don't know if he's on the lap or just starting one. It looks like he's on the lap. But not a very fast one as he does not improve. Gary. Coming down and just starting a lap as well. Mark, I think, is in on improvement. And gets himself up into P1. That's pole position provisional for the Ferrari driver at the moment. There's a lot of drivers coming down into turn 1 at the moment, just starting the laps, I reckon. See a couple Williams drivers here as well as McCrew gets himself into P3. And Cookie Games, is he improving? I think he's just starting his final lap. And that's Dylan. And he's not improving either. As I just see Jekyll. I don't know if he just jumped up, I think he did actually. So into P4 for the McLaren driver Harry. Self-track as V5, just 1,000th off Mark at the moment. Looking really close at the top here. Let's see. RLT Dan not improving. Matty G coming across the line into P3, gets himself somehow in between V5 and Cookie. Top 4 within basically half a tenth. Bit more. Let's see. White crossing the line. Can he improve? Just slightly. Gets himself up into P9. There's a racing point of Gary. Gets himself not any higher up. That's a bit of a disappointment for the leader of the championship. To Mark not improving either. Eduk. Let's see, he's half a tenth faster at the moment. Gets himself across the line and into P12. Decent lap from him. Callum does not improve. Cookie does not improve. The Alpha Super Gamer does not improve, and McCrew coming across the line does not improve either. Anyone else? Harry Newark is not remotely close. Rick? He's not even gonna... Yeah, he's just got the chicane there. He was not an improvement and was invalid anyway. I don't think anyone else is on the lap. No, he's out of fuel. So it's Eloise Mark, maybe taking an unlikely pole, but on the other hand, it's the wedge specialist, as he's proven that a couple times already. So good lap from the Ferrari driver, gets himself 1,000 ahead of a V5. Running through, it's Matty G in P3 and Cookie Games in P4. McCrew in P5. Just note, top 4 and 63 thousandths difference. That's insane. McCrew in P5, Jekyll in P6, Dylan P7, Super Gamer in P8, White for Y in P9, Aiden in P10, Gary championship leader in P11, then Edok, Harry, Sao Cookie, RLT Dan not starting the race position, Callum, Adri, Rick, B Morgan and Nico rounding off the grid here in Canada. So I'm just checking if a co-commentator is gonna join at some point, or isn't he, as it looks like it's dry here. So these guys will have to alter again to different conditions. Drivers just getting their setups ready. Let's see. If we get a couple comments, I'll have a check, as the commentator is joining in 10 minutes apparently. So Might bring this stream even more alive with him. So as Callum has said, try for the start but rain at the end. I've just only noticed that. That could get very interesting, especially with what these people are choosing, especially with tires, which I'm gonna check right now. So quite a mix here. You see soft and mediums here basically. Mark V5, Matty G, McCrew. Further down, Eduk, Sal Cookie, Arleti then all opting for the soft tires, and the rest of the grid, that's 13 drivers remaining, opting for the mediums, which can last a bit longer. And they will try and maybe an alternate strategy. I don't know when the rain is coming, so we'll have to see about that as well. For now, the sun is shining here and bright. Let's see. The current main title contenders in P4, P11 and P15. It can get very interesting. Maybe a couple slower drivers at the front or at the back, a very mixed up grid as Mark is just lining up his car to the grid. Let's see if we got 19 people watching. Amazing support, guys. Loving this. Let's see. Everyone lining up. At the back it's Nico. She'll be trying to get through the grid. We know he's eager to get a good result. Shown some great praise for that. Let's see what he can do. And everyone else, of course. Let's see. Drivers just line up as it's everyone waiting for the 5 red lights. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And long hold, but away we go. It looks like V5. Does he have a good start? It looks like actually Mark has got a better start. Matty G jumping V5 behind. Cookie Games trying to go around the outside of V5 as well. So it looks like everyone is clean through. And a lot happening already. It's a bit of car here. White and Aiden going side by side. Into turn 6. Let's see who gets better with this. And Gary trying to get through as well behind. This Mark maintaining P1 for the moment. McCrew right on the back of Cookie Games here. Actually, Gary trying to get around the outside of Aiden. Into turn 8. That'd be an amazing move. So a few drivers off track, no crash. It doesn't look like anyone suffers from any damage, which is really good to see. So that's Arleti Dan going around the outside. But for now, it's Mark maintaining the lead and getting an 8 tenths gap to Matty G behind. So first time crossing the chicane here. It's Aiden getting past Y. And Mark's obviously setting the fast lap to race. Eduk, he's into the pits. He might have picked up some damage. Or he's just going... Yeah, he's picked up some damage because he's changing his front wing. Now, shall we look at who's gained the most positions? It's not really changed much at the front. Just Matty G and V5 changing at the front. It's Nico gaining 3 positions, obviously Eduk with that pit stop losing about 8 positions. So let's see. So any close on track action. Further down the grid, I think behind Adri might be something evolving here. No move there. Get back to the front of the right. I think Cookie is down the inside of V5 there into the hairpin. V5 gets the better exit. Push him a bit on the grass, if side by side. Let's go on board with Cookie for this. As V5 squeezes him to the inside, side by side into chicane. Cookie backs out of it and V5 maintains position for now. Let's see, Mark's in the fast lap of the race. Anyone else crossing that? Doesn't look like it so far. DRS now enabled, so in a couple more moves. Let's see. Jacob close to McCrew. There's a bit of a gap behind Matty G. Cookie Games looking down the inside of turn 6, but does not make a move. He's got the DRS though here. As we get a bad camera angle, we just go on board with him. I don't think he's close enough right here into turn 8, guys. As I see a bit of wing flying off, and that's Cookie. I'm pretty sure that's Cookie's from wing as Aiden picks up time penalty. But yeah, the left end plate from Cookie Games is gone, and that's the third row in the race. He's, well, low-key throwing away. And now it's McCrew all over the back of him. And behind Dylan as well, close to J. Cole. We'll keep an eye on McCrew though. Has a look. Matty G getting a time penalty as well. So it's Aiden getting past Super Gamer. Does not make it work as... actually does make it work. White down the inside of turn 1. Super Gamer as well. Super Gamer looks to be losing a few positions. Bit of contact there. Looks to be all clean though. And White complete in the move before turn 3. Move from him as Crew right on the back of Cookie Games. Galang picks up a time penalty, and we'll be seeing a lot of those. Very easy to pick up. Anyways, McCrew down the inside of turn 8. Let's see, and he gets the move done quite nicely there. And now we'll be on the hunt for V5 ahead. Put it back down. Jekyll as Sal Cookie. I don't know really how to, Sal Cook. I don't really know how to pronounce the name, to be honest. I just come Sal. Anyways, he's picked up a time penalty. Cookie Games just looking close again to McCrew with that damage. Still managed to keep in the DRS, going around the outside. And he's completed the move. That's a good move from the Rebel driver. Doesn't look to be suffering a lot of from that damage. So it's further back down. RLT down close to Harry. Not making anything work. It's Nico. It's a bit of a scrap going on here. It's 2x2 basically. And ahead is Callum getting out, and Saul and B Morgan still side by side. With Gary getting through on Super Game. I don't know where he's done that. V5 picks up time penalty as well. And it's already raining those. And I think that'll define the result quite a bit. So Dylan picks up a time penalty as well. This is going to be very hard to keep track of for me, and we'll have to do a couple checks. And let's see. Anyone made good progress? It's not too much. Adrian and Rick getting free position gone. I think Nico has dropped back down a bit. Again, as B Morgan and Sal going side by side. B Morgan into the airpin, I think, made a move. He got the DRS as well, and Nico will be benefiting from that and trying to get past. Actually, let's see, side by side for P18. So pushes him a bit wide, picks up a second time penalty already. That I can still keep track of. There's a bit of a gap here. So we get a nice helicopter shot of V5. And behind is Cookie Games, still with that damage, doing nicely. As the soft will be going off shortly already. And Dylan on the back of J. Cole. Gets a bit of a tank slapper on the exit, I saw. And won't be getting past here. Let's see. Any moves happening shortly. So on the back of B Morgan once again. Another move happening there. J. Cole on the end onto McCrew. And McCrew has dropped back as well. Does he have damage or anything? I wonder. Anyways, J. Cole down the inside is marking the pits. And I think that's Matty G as well. If you guys go already in the pits and maybe trying to undercut, so we know it's quite powerful. Let's see what tires they head on. As his mark again on a set of softs. Matty G doing the same. I'm surprised by that. Don't know, it might have to do something with the rain. Up in early as Dylan picked up another 3-second time penalty there. And that's V5 into the net lead. Not in the net lead, but he's into the lead. Let's see, Cookie Games does have the DRS and there's a big train behind. Gary getting past White Hawaii. The Haas driver, I think, made a mistake. Let's see, Dylan down the inside of the hairpin onto McCrew, and the soft seems to be really going off now. And Dylan gets the move done. And we'll be looking to chase after Jekyll shortly. Let's see. Anyone heading into the pits? It's V5 into the pits. McCrew as well. And I reckon Arletidam might be in as well. Super Game is in. I'm surprised by that one. He's on the mediums already. So as it's V5 onto the mediums. Mark picking up a time penalty now. And that puts him even with Matty G in P5. Let's see, Mark, where is he coming at? Towards V5, let's see. It's V5 behind the Red Bull. Trying to get through. He pretty much lets him through. So he runs wide as well there. Might be suffering bits on the tires. As in front, we still have a 5-car train all on the mediums. So it still looks quite dry here. Let's see. Any moves can be happening. Let's see that. Jekyll under pressure from Cookie Games. Cookie Games gonna try it down into chicane. No, he won't. Let's see, I see a bit of wing flying off there, and it's a Mobile 1. And guess who's has the sponsor of Mobile 1? It's this driver. And that's Arleti Jekyll having damage maybe as well. It's Mark Cinderfall's lap of the race. Getting past there as Callum is into the pits, and Nico and Matty G scrapping. I think Matty G just got past. The mistake in there. Apologies. Let's see. Dylan closing up into Kicker Games. V5 picks up a second time penalty. Get a horrible camera angle. And we still get that. It's not amazing. And let's see. Dylan staying behind for the hairpin as Gary gets really close to the back of Aiden. And Gary, one of the few drivers who still has kept it clean. He'll be looking to do so throughout the race. Super Game already went into the Hearts, so surprised by that. The Hearts are known to not be too good here. Gary just picking up a time penalty, as I said, he was keeping it clean. Nice commentators, Jinx, Cookie Games as well picked up a time penalty there. Let's see, this is still a 5-car train, all within about half a second of each other. Let's see, Mark already getting close to the back of Rick. And this soft choice is gonna pay out for him. Depending on if there is actually heavy rain, or I don't know how much it is, but it was said in the comments that it was gonna be some rain at the end. So Mark is closing up to the back of the Haas driver, not close enough here for a move. Into the hairpin, I don't see any moves here either way. Cookie losing a bit of time, so maybe Dylan can benefit from that. Let's see, but they both have DRS, and Cookie looks to be having some extra straight line speeds. But might be just Dylan not having his ERS fully turned up. He does get a lot in the final chicane. This further down is Mark down the inside of Rick, and it gets easily past. His next target is Adri. So Aiden does pick up time penalty into turn 1. Matty G as well. Can't even keep track of these penalties anymore. This driver will keep it clean as Dylan picks up another one. I think that might actually already be his first penalty as Matty G gets past B. Morgan. Wait, any moves down into turn 8. B Morgan picking up his time penalty as well there. No moves here. V5 picking up another time penalty. Dylan close to the back of Cookie Games for P2. Down the inside of the hairpin. Can he make it stick? Cookie gives him the room and Dylan gets past for now. Can Cookie get back of him? And one man who's liking this battling will be Jekyll. He can pull away a bit from this. Further behind, I see B Morgan, V5 and Nico all close. As Cookie Games is into the pits. And the same goes for Gary. Let's see where these drivers are going to go on to. It looks like they're both onto a new set of mediums. Where are they coming out in respect to the other drivers who have pitted? Let's see, V5 in this battle at the moment. And Gary has jumped Cookie actually. Cookie, I think, has got a new front wing. Gary quite a bit behind McCrew, 3 seconds that is. But there's a big battle going on here. So it's Callum picking up a time penalty as well. And setting the fast lap of the race. Dylan picking up another time penalty. That must already be like 12 seconds. He gotta watch out. He's not, well, going over the limit of getting disqualified. Super Gamer picking up a time penalty. I can't even keep track of this anymore. Let's see. Dylan closing up to Jekyll, but not close enough. Let's see if any of these drivers pit. They both pit. I reckon both will be going on to the mediums. Aiden's of course staying out, because otherwise there'd be some stalling there for Aiden. White continuing on. As this McCrew making a double overtake there on Nico and B Morgan. Nico heading into the pits. Let's see, Gary's also close to this now, and a few drivers come out. Dylan and Jacob right behind V5 once again. These drivers on mediums, but Jacob and Dylan having fresher mediums, 5 laps fresher to be correct. And to be looking to get past, this is Gary down the inside of B Morgan into turn 6. And I think gets the move done. Yes, he does. Good move by the Racing Point driver. So it's Mark closing up to Adri. Let's see, can he get past the McLaren? He does have DRS from Harry in front. Let's see, Mark closing up to Adri. Can he get the move done here into the chicane, or is he just gonna stick behind? He is, and Adri heads into the pits. Aiden and White do, as Adri gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Let's see. And he moves down into turn 1. Jake getting really close to the back of V5. Does not get past. Let's see. Aiden comes back out behind Gary. So he's lost a bit. Rick picking up a time penalty there as well. Jekyll looking quite fast at the moment. Can he get past the Renault of V5? So has the better exit. Can he get past Sal picking up a time penalty as well? Jekyll has the DRS down the inside of turn 8 and gets the move done. Nice move from the McLaren driver, who will be on the hunt. This Mark's on a professional lead. How long can he keep those softs going? That'll be the question. He is in the DRS of Harry. Let's see, can he get past here? Will he get past there? Will he maybe wait for Harry to get into the pits, which he does? As the Mark will be promoted back into the lead. Still like that. Matty G also on the softs, looking to close up, but Jacob's in behind. And he looks to be really quick at the moment. Cookie Games sets a fast lap of the race. 1:10.9. It's a really quick lap. Let's see where Harry comes out. It's right around Adri as there is yellows, and that's for Super Gamer. And I think he's lost into the chicane as V5 picks up another time penalty. And that's already his fourth, for, if I'm correct as well. Gary gotta watch out. Aiden down the inside. So we get a insanely horrible camera angle, but Aiden does back out of that move into turn 8. But there is a hairpin to go. Is there gonna be any moves down into here? It doesn't look like it so far. White for white, getting past either Titan if I'm correct. Sal picking up another time penalty. Jacob getting close to the back of Matty G for P2. Down the inside of the chicane. And gets past easily in P2. And now, look who's that. It's LOE Mark. He'll be on the hunt as Gary gets past the crew there. I missed that move. But still, as Aiden also tried to get past McCrew, as Adri picks up a time penalty as well. And McCrew staying ahead for now of Aiden, as you could just see. Callum picking up a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Add that to the list. V5. And the stuff seems to be really going off as Matty G is losing a lot. But I see some M-plate lane now. I don't know, I can't really identify from which car that is. It's Aiden close in the back of Cookie Games. Cookie Games I think just has got past him. And Cookie Games looks to be really close and really quick as well. To the back of McCrew. McCrew going wide. Cookie getting better exit. Out of 11 and 12. Let's see. Does he get past? It's V5 past Matty G. Sorry for missing that move. But I do think Cookie Games is having this. Still side by side. Cookie Games has gone past his Marcus into the pits. And Matty G is into the pits as well. And I'm wondering what these drivers are thinking with the strategy. But it does promote Jacob up into the lead of the race so far. So we're really happy with that. Mark onto mediums and Matty G is onto mediums as well. So it doesn't look like it's getting darker at the moment. Wondering is that actually gonna be rain, because it doesn't look like it at the moment. Maybe I've just been given false information, but I'm not too sure on that. V5. Well, another time penalty. Nothing good for his record. So I'll drop in quite a bit down. It's almost like a pit stop of penalties. That's how much he has. Aiden close to the back of McCrew. Sal picked up a time penalty now as well again. Aiden has the DRS of McCrew. McCrew still has the DRS of Cookie. Let's see, can Aiden get past? He looks to the inside, but does not get past. Let's see, down into turn 1, does right on board with him. Can he get a move? He dives it up the inside. Crew maintaining that position though. Good defending from the Williams driver. Aiden on the switchback though. Can he get past? Down into turn 3, or does he back out? He backs out of it. Which is, well, the sensible thing to do in that situation. Let's see, anyone close on track? It's Matty G getting past Rick. I think Rick may have made a mistake out of turn 2. Does he have damage? Of course, with the RP camera angles, I can't really see. Let's see, I think his right end plate is gone. It says yellow is in sector 2. That's for Ida, maybe? Can't really tell. That's actually been for, I think it's just been for Super Game 11 through. I didn't read it. Dylan picks up a time penalty. Aiden getting past McCrew at the moment that happens. Dylan close to V5 though. And Mark getting past Dan. Sal picking up another time penalty. I can't even keep my voice here straight. So I see a certain man has joined. Let's see if he can join the party now as well. Which I have given an invite for. Cookie Games picks up a time penalty now as well. I think the one who skipped a clean throughout the race is RLT Jacob. I don't think, let me actually check, but I don't think he's got any penalties. Not even a warning. Very well done for him. So let's see. Any close action down on track. Dylan getting close to the back of V5. So see a certain man has joined the party.
Oh, hello there.
Hello. So it's been a very entertaining race, and I probably need some help on my voice here. So it's been a lot of penalties. And it's difficult to keep track of it. Don't know if you watched as Dylan hits the wall there.
Yeah.
The exit of the champions. I've got that on screen. Gary now looking to benefit maybe from that. Getting close to the back of Dylan.
Yeah, hounding the Toro also already. Of course, Dylan, I believe there was damage there. I saw some debris flying off the wall. So he is going to have this downforce compromise. Going to be coming under pressure from the racing point. Gary's going to have to get past soon if he wants to get with those top two. Around the outside of Dylan there. Down edge again. There's been a contact. I saw debris there. Gary seems to have lost an end plate. If you can check that as well on the stream. They come together once again. Dylan sneaks back around the outside. Gets cut off. And that's some feisty driving for both of them. Gary up to P3 on track. But I believe both these drivers have damage now.
And Cookie Games down the inside of Dylan as well. And gets past. And Adri getting a time penalty there as well. And I'm gonna check if Gary has from wing damage. It looks like his right end plate is gone indeed. And I think he's not the only one, and Dylan seems to have a bit more severe damage. Cookie Games will be looking to benefit from that and get back up into P3. So Aiden gets past his teammate.
Yeah. Aiden, who I'm guessing is car mentalist.
Yeah.
So there's up to P5, and he's going to be on that charger. I'm going to look just to bring up the tyre situation in these guys. So yeah, obviously V5, who I believe went for an undercut at the beginning, now sitting in P2, but on older tyres. Mark picks up a penalty as he goes past Adri. I think Adri, it's Adri and Dan that's talking about him. Getting a little bit confused there because I'm still getting into this, but yeah, Jaco at the moment cruising out in front and keeping nicely. But of course, Cookie now on the back of his championship rival Gary.
If you see it, but at the moment it's getting dark, and there were reports of rain by Callum at the end of the race, so we could perhaps see some feisty action at the end. So,
ooh. Aiden was well off the track there, going under the bridge, and he's going to compromise a bit of his run. He's going to have to try and get back in this, but yeah.
Just note, Dylan is losing a lot of time. He's already lost 3 seconds to his teammate this lap.
Yeah,
but look at this.
Surprise, really.
Cookie versus Gary. Let's see. This is what I'm looking forward to.
To the inside.
Side by side into the chicane. Cookie passed.
Okay. Yeah.
And V5 picking up is, I don't even know how many time penalties.
Oh dear.
As Mark gets past Harry into the chicane. Just a good move from the Ferrari driver. Callum picking up a time penalty.
Of course, the advantage of getting past going into that chicane is that you also have DRS down the main straight as well, so it's quite easy to keep that position there and keep ahead of the game. But it's now Aiden that's got to try and manoeuvre his way past the championship leader. He's got a run on Gary here. Gary's, of course, compromised now. Going down, I'm not sure what corner it is, maybe like turn 8 or something. Gets very close to the back, doesn't quite get it done. He's going to have to look forward again, looking to get that exit.
McCrew, down the inside of Dylan.
A bit deep. Dylan's not going to fight that back though. Not really in a position to further up the front though in this battle for P4. Cookie beginning to skate up the way towards V5 there. It's got a bit of a 4-car DRS train here as Aiden now with that DRS open is going to try and close down Gary. Is Gary going to make any defensive moves? That DRS is helping him to defend, and if I'm not mistaken, I almost thought I saw raindrops there. Definitely the conditions evolving as Dylan goes back past McCrew on the straight, and now Aiden alongside Gary inside into turn 1. Is he going to be able to get that one done? Up the road as well. Cookie into P2. He gets past V5. They're still side by side behind though, and it's Gary with a very feisty move. Turn 2, they come together. Gary getting his elbows out, trying to keep these positions, and Aiden is not able to get through.
You've seen this correct. There's raindrops now. So let's see how far this can take on and get to intercept. Aiden looking down the inside of Gary. Get him on the switchback. That's a good move. If he can get that done, and he does get that done. Further in behind, White down the inside of McCrew into turn 6. And gets past him as well. And now closing up onto Dylan as well. So can he get 2-1 in like span of a couple corners. Let's see. The exit of turn 9. Down into the hairpin. Can he get it done? It looks like he does get that done. And Mark looking in behind as well. Down the inside of McCrew as he gets a compromise run. And a bit of contact. Mark has to hold on for a bit there. And looking side by side again, Dylan and White YY now. But it does look like White YY has that DRS and gets in front. Mark down the inside of McCrew. Gets it done.
Gonna run wide though. Good exit from McCrew. The Williams driver coming back at the Ferrari wheel to wheel. Down the straight here towards turn 1. Mark still got his nose ahead. You can hold it running outside of turn 1 as Aiden gets past V5. And Cookie, he's got a penalty there. He's getting out of that gap as McCrew is dropping places. He's lost out to Harry now as well after that battle with Mark.
We see a lot of drivers struggling as it just got on to Gary, hitting the back of V5. Don't think any major damage occurs there. Has a few drivers at the back going onto Inters. I don't think they're really. I don't think it's really time for Inters just yet. It's Mark rounding outside of Dylan and gets it into turn 8, and Harry will be looking to do the same into turn 10, but isn't close enough, I reckon.
Yeah, Thor also, of course, lingering around on this damage. He's going to be having to tiptoe around this hairpin there. Go very careful on traction. Of course, now that it's raining, there's not as much focus on downforce, so he won't be as slow, but that's the damage is really holding him back. Further up the road, Gary pulls to the inside of V5, going towards turn 1. I don't think the Renault driver is on older tyres. I don't think he can fight much despite the damage. Gary into P4, V5 picks a better line.
And McCrew in the pits. What's he gonna try?
Well, I've been monitoring the gap from Callum to Salt Cook, and it's certainly, well, it's still extending very much.
But McCrew is trying it. McCrew is trying it, and he's on to the Inters, and we'll have to keep an eye on him, because if he's made the right strategy, because Adri gets past Dylan for P9, Callum picks up a time penalty there as well. I don't think it's just time for Inters. I think McCrew's about a lap or two too early. With Aiden pick up his time penalty as well there. Not even gonna bother to check them because it's just changing all that much, and I think Jaco is the one who's kept it clean so far. I've checked that, and it didn't even get a warning around lap 15, 16. So well done to him, and I didn't see a penalty appear for him either. So he's the one keeping it clean into the lead. Anyway, Nico down the inside of Dan for P11. And Matty G looking as well and gets past as well. So Dan dropping
Nico spends it.
Nico
managed to keep it in a straight line, but yeah, he lost out there. Dan, of course, struggling to stay with it on these dead tyres. 17 laps he's done, and I'm almost 18 now. It looks like as Dylan picks up a penalty.
Harry down the inside of Mark, and they spin. They collide.
They're both round at turn 1. I'm not sure. What? Solcook has been disqualified
from receiving too many penalties.
Oh no.
That's how much it was as field drives to the back going onto Inters. And there's yellows.
2 sectors, let's see. Is there going to be... Ooh, I don't think there'll be a safety car from a disqualification, but we'll see. Dylan, the lack of downforce is so evident. He's gone almost straight on into the second sector. But really, it is, as the field begins to spread out a little bit, at this stage, it is Jaco comfortably out in front. He doesn't have to take any risks on the strategy. He's got that gap. He's kept it clean, as you mentioned. So he's just got to essentially follow what the cars behind are going to do and react to any moves that they make, because that's all he has to do. He's got a massive buffer as Cookie pits. So Cookie deciding to take that risk, which is straight for... Oh, look at this. Gary who picks up a penalty. And I find it rather amusing that Gary sees Cookie diving into the pits and follows him, but that penalty is certainly going to set him back.
Yes, it does. And Gary changed his front wing as well there. Harry into the pits, and I think it's time for Inters. I feel like it's time for Inters. McCrew seems... McCrew. I think one of them the gap to Eduk, and he's closing in the last sector.
Yep, I'm watching the same. You see a lot of cars in the pit lane. I think that this is the crossover point now.
Yeah, look at Cookie just pulling away from Adri there out of turn 2.
Yeah, so as we see so many times in racing, the Inters come into their own. Of course, Cookie has got a considerable deficit of over 5 seconds to Jaco before the pit stops. We'll see if he's able to make that up. I doubt it. Jekyll's already at the hairpin. I'm sure he's just nursing that car. And there's DRS disabled. That is usually the call that it's definitely time to get off those slicks. Jekyll was really struggling for traction coming out of that hairpin. Definitely, well, these slick tyres, the mediums that those runners are on, aren't working. Jekyll just about get it slowed down for the pit lane.
Aiden, yeah.
So yeah, all these guys are going to be pitting now, and let's see where Cookie comes out. He should be comfortably in second, but is he going to be anywhere near Jekyll? Something tells me that gap that Jekyll had will be enough to get another penalty for speeding from V5 there. These guys, also in these kind of mixed conditions, struggling to get the car stopped there.
Yes, Cookie gets a massive slide on the exit, but it does not really matter. Mark does the same and gets the time penalty, 5 seconds for speeding as well. Let's see. Cookie is 5.6 behind. It's close by like a second. Not too much. So 8 and 9 to P3. Gary just coming out ahead of V5 in P4. Let's see. V5 capitalize on this. He does have a lot of penalties. Gary, speaking about penalties, gets another one there as well.
Jekyll has just the one warning right now. As Gary goes very deep, and that's going to give V5 a little bit of run because no DRS. So he wants to overtake. He's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. But I don't think he's going to be close enough into turn 8. So he's going to have to.
Yes, look, but does not get back.
Yep, the crew as well, right by Matty G, I believe, who had a better at trying end that last stint. He's going to have to try and work his way in. It's Dylan that's also, after being in that podium fight,
yellows in sector 3. I'm looking into this, but I can't really find that. Might have just been the car of Super Gamer.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Because he's going very slowly to turn 1. He does have damage there on his right end plate. So I imagine he's probably hit maybe the wall of champions. Not too sure, but Jekyll was comfortable. I'm sure he can do this. Let's look further behind Dylan. Adri. Alongside Adri. Races past on the straight. Is Adri going to try and fight it back? He's in hot lap mode. He's still pushing that. Tucks back into the slipstream though. Dylan has got that move done for now. Does Adri fancy coming back at him? Dylan picks up a penalty on the inside of the final chicane. Goes massively, slows down hugely out of the... oh, he's been disqualified. That's why. Oh, he's got to be careful. Get out of the way. Nico's able to get past nicely.
He can't really do anything about being disqualified. Like...
yeah.
He's
okay,
left.
That's actually quite wise because he managed to get his car out of the way. V5 is still hounding Gary. Gary doesn't seem to be particularly fast.
Look YY behind as well.
Yeah, I think Gary's struggling in these wet conditions there. Look at how much ground he's lost. He's over 6 seconds behind Aiden now, so even that front wing change hasn't quite done it for him. And these two, of course, very experienced drivers behind him, we are patient, I'm sure, but they'll take any opportunity they can get. V5 struggles for traction out of that hairpin, and YY is looking very fast. They pulled up alongside already. He's right next to the Rhino now, going down towards the final chicane, but V5 is able to pull back in. I don't imagine YY will go for anything crazy into this last chicane, because you don't really want to be pulling moves like that in these conditions. And Gary's so slow through that final chicane. Now we're going to have a run. V5 is going to pull to the outside going into turn 1. Gary goes defensive. Can V5 hold it round the outside? Gary doesn't give him much space. Tries to compromise the Renault's braking and does that just fine. Now, does V5 get underneath out of turn 2? He has got good traction there, but I think Gary's just about going to be able to hold it. But these guys really going at it. Gary coming up the pressure. Yellow sector 3 now.
Don't see who that is. Might be Callum, to be honest. I think it was just an oversteer moment out of the hairpin. Anyways, these three still close for P4. Let's see. So it doesn't look like any move happening as Cookie picks up a time penalty as well there. Let's see, V5 just a bit of correction on the entry there. YY looking to benefit from that. Little chooses for the outside of the hairpin. V5 does have a bit more straight line speed, but can YY keep it around the outside? And can he make that move work? He's still there.
Traction. Oh, they almost touch.
And he does get past. Good move from the Haasberg, but it's YY getting under pressure now again from V5. Who looks to be pulling on the side, but does not. And backs out of it. See,
YYY, he does look pacey in these wet conditions, and now he's got Gary to try and get past. I think V5 will feel a little bit aggrieved sitting behind that racing point, but unable to get that move done and finally being caught out. A great move by YYY, running out of the hairpin. McCrew picks up another penalty. YYY's alongside Gary already out of turn 2, gets better traction as well. He's got his nose ahead. I don't think that the championship leader has much to fight with. He's still trying to hang it running outside. Doesn't quite work out, and Gary's going to drop back now into the clutches of V5. Still, these guys go at it, going down into turn 6, I believe it is. Gary under pressure now. He's able to hold it though. V5 beginning to apply that, getting onto the back of that racing point, unable to get through for now, as YYY is already pulling out that gap, looking at P4 on track quite comfortably for the moment.
Yeah, so I've not seen YYY pick up a penalty from my memories, and I've seen Aiden and Cookie both pick up quite a few, so maybe he can get a podium here. That'd be really good for the Haas driver. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm just running through the penalties right now. Oh my god. So I believe Cookie had 12 seconds of penalties. Aiden also has 12, but he's very close to another. YYY, and you're right in saying that, 2 warnings for him so far. So really good job from him. As I'll let you. It looks like V5's got a run on Gary, so I'll let you take it away for this one.
Yeah, he does look like he has a run, but it isn't getting past us. Callum has retired, and there's a safety car for the last couple of laps. And this is going to benefit the guys who have not get a penalty just yet.
Well, hold on. Is it going to get cleared in time? That's the question. I assume that we might have a last lap sprint or something, because it's just under 4 laps to go in this race.
From my recall, the safety car always gets out 2 laps before. So you might just see one for lap 33, but I'm not too sure on that. I think that was the case in previous games, but I've not seen such a situation on this game just yet. So we really gotta wait and see.
Well, of course, Jaco, despite losing this lead that he's built up, he's actually still in a fairly comfortable position. The only person that he's at threat from, really, is YYY. I have checked, he's sitting on 2 warnings right now, so he can't afford another one. The YYY could potentially get that place. So still there's pressure on Jekyll now, a little bit more than before, but still he just has to keep this on track, and he should come out with the win here, but still all to play for.
I'm just gonna check people who... I'm just gonna check the penalties, to be honest. So it's Jekyll on no penalties, Cookie indeed on 12 seconds, Aiden I think on 15 if I'm correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 actually. So YYY on no penalties. Gary is on
I think that's 14
indeed.
Yeah.
V5, okay, this one
wow.
That's 23 seconds.
I don't think Ivor and Mike's shaking quickie in his books. Yeah, but still, that's still quite
Harry only on 3, so that's decent from him. Mark on 14 as well. Matty G is on 9 seconds. McCrew is 6.
Wait.
Yeah.
If I just cut you off, Gary's picked up yet another penalty under the safety car. So I mean, it's not one of the ridiculous safety cars in this lap. He's picked. It's been one of those glitch ones. He's just picked up there as well. 10-second penalty for Gary Donegan. That should surely get removed. But at this point, he's going to be nearing disqualification, so he's got to be careful, even with this penalty, which is quite frankly ridiculous. As we get to see more and more of these now, I believe that was Matty G and McCrew both picking up 10 seconds of that one corner. Wow.
That's and Nico as well. This is quite a mad race on penalties. As if the safety car is going in this lap, out of the chicane, J. Cole goes, and I think a couple drivers are on his back up until P7.
He's got a great run coming out the chicane. He's going to pull out to the outside going into turn 1. He's got his nose ahead. Jacob doesn't need to fight this, but he's still very late on the brakes. Cookie is through. Of course, he does have those penalties. Jacob is still in a good position to win this race, but he won't like having someone ahead of him on track. It's very handy to be leading in the wet. Now, if he's switched off here, and if he's
Harry
a bit sloppy,
getting past his teammates, and Harry might actually be looking for a podium spot here as well. Just with all he's only got 3 seconds. Super Game picking up a time penalty there. Anyways,
I think
Aiden looking close again to Jekyll. Not close enough.
I think at the moment your podium could be Jekyll, YHYY, and Harry if it stays
Let's
this way.
look as Harry picked up time penalty, Aiden picked up the time penalty, and V5 picked up the time penalty in the same corner.
Come on, guys.
So we've seen 2 people already being disqualified. We don't want to see another one. So we're heading on to the last lap of the race. And this is going to be... We don't really know who's going to get any sort of podium or whatever. But we just have to see at the finish line what's happening. I think it really stands if Jacob keeps it on track, doesn't get a penalty, then he's winning.
Can we just revive Albert Einstein to tell us where everyone's going to end up in this race? Because our intellect isn't enough to cover this, I'm afraid. But at the moment, it does look as though Jekyll is on for this, but he can't afford to pick up another warning, or he's going to lose out to YHYY, who's still set within 2 seconds
Harry
of him.
looking close to Gary. Let's see.
Harry's looking very impressive in these wet conditions there, on the back of the racing point now, and I believe he's going to beat him on penalties anyway, but he wants to do it on track. He's pulling down the inside towards turn 8. Who's going to be later on the brakes? They're both trying to hang it side by side. Gary has to yield. Harry runs very wide, but he's able to keep it on.
V5.
And V5.
Indeed.
V5 is looking...
And pulls to the outside. Let's
on
see.
the brakes.
Gets
V5
around.
does brake very late.
Gets a better exit there. Can he get past? And yes, he does.
Great move.
Anyways, it's Cookie Games up to the chicane. And let's see how this all pans out, because I have no clue.
Well, the order that you're seeing right now is not the order we're going to get. Cookie comes over the line. Jaco, predictably, gets the win. YHYY second. And Harry third, just as we predicted. As you see, loads of people getting penalties for unserved... Not serving them in the pit stops. Matty G barely pips Mark less than a 10th. V5 drops to 9th. Gary drops to 10th. And actually gets beat by Adri, because Adri had a very clean race.
Almost by his
Gary's
teammates.
And Dan, of course. He's nowhere near anyone, but still goes up to 8.
Rick, I don't think is close enough. So let's run through this. Jacob picking up the win. YHY seconds. Harry first. Cookie Games still in 4th place. Aiden in 5th. Matty G in 6th, Mark in 7th, Dan in 8th, of course, McCrew in 9th, Edok, impressive D2 debut, gets himself 3 points, Adri in P11 and V5 in P12. Of course, there's been a few questionable penalties, and I'm sure the steward's going to be really busy with this one.
I mean, considering like 4 people picked up penalties under the safety car, yeah, Steward's office will not be a quiet place, I can assure you. But no doubt about the winner, at least we believe, is Jaco, who pretty much controlled the race, lost out under that safety car restart, but he kept it clean, and that's all that matters. Jaco atop the podium, and after a pretty torrid start to the season, he's getting it back underway with a win here in Canada.
Yeah, and he'll be really happy with that. He's together with White drove the most clean there. And, well, Harry's done a decent job as well at that, only 6 seconds, and normally that wouldn't be the best, but at this rate, well, it's got him to a podium. He's done all he needs to do, and it's got him. So, once again, Jacob from 6th on the grid to P1, YHY in 2nd place, Harry jumping up 10 positions from the grids into P3, Cookie in 4th, Aiden in 5th, Matty G in 6th, then Mark, Dan, McCrew, Edok, Adri, and V5 run out of points. Gary outside the points provisionally with that 10-second penalty. I don't know what's going to happen, but he's picked up 27 seconds. Nico in 14th, B Morgan in 15th, Rick in 16th, and then it's Super Gamer in 17th, 2 laps behind. It's Callum in 18th, and who has DNF'd, and the 2 people disqualified with Dylan and Saul getting too many penalties, and, well, yeah, getting disqualified with the game.
9. Wait, I'm just checking here. Dylan, that's 27. So he picked up 34 seconds of penalties before he got disqualified. That's just one thing to note. So, wow. I don't know
Wow,
what to
indeed.
say.
That's one thing person who is gonna be quite happy with this, I reckon. After all that, there's gonna be cookie games on both his rivals, and I think we'll overtake Dan in the standings and we'll get closer to Gary once again. So it's been an entertaining race. Last lap safety car threw it all even more in the mix. Wet qualifying, gone on to the dry start of the race, and then spectacle at the end. A lot of penalties, a lot of struggles, but in the end it's Jacob coming out on top. And with that, I'll be in the stream. I've been QVR Verstappen, he's been QVR Deke, and I'll see you guys next time.